I am so excited that you are here today because we are going to talk about a hidden silent storyteller inside of your business. Why is it silent? Why is there a storyteller in your business? This is weird. I don't know where you're going with this. Well, you're going to want to stay tuned because we're going to go into something that you may have been terrified of before. And I'm going to show you today why it matters and how it's actually going to help grow your business. And I want you to be taking notes because we're going to go into some really cool stuff today that I'm really excited to share. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Emily Hawkins. I am the founder and creator of the Leadership Operating System. After spending 15 years in the corporate world, having a degree in logistics and transportation, which is actually streamlining processes for productive results, known as supply chain, and doing this for businesses all over the world, Fortune 500s, all the way down to a small startup, including my own, taking my own business to $1 million without working 14-hour days. Can I get an amen for that? Business does not have to be complicated. And my goal with you and the Leadership Operating System is to teach you that everything in your business can be done through simplicity, curiosity, and connection. So let's get into it. What is this silent storyteller inside of your business? Well, it's actually data. But I don't want to talk about data because that's boring. And most people will say, I'm not a data person. I'm not a numbers person. And what I say is, good. You are in the right place if that's not you. If you are, amazing. But what I want to share with you is maybe who you are, who is right for this. So let's talk about you're in the right place, and this is for you if you deeply care about your customers. So something that I have seen over the years is when people deeply care, they're willing to listen and they're willing to find those answers and get into a deep place with their customers. If you care deeply about what it is you do, then this is definitely for you. So do you want to serve more people? Because if you want to serve more people, all of that information lives in your data. And it's so funny because I think all of us are like, these people are just supposed to magically show up or whatever. And that's just not how it works. But all of the footsteps to get those people to you, the track, the path is in your data. So if you want to serve more people, then this is definitely for you. And do you want to get to know these people better? Not just massively talk to people like with a megaphone. Hey, I've got some stuff I'm selling and it's kind of cool and you should buy it too. Right? No. You can actually get to know your people in a really deep, meaningful way. I want to talk about right now one organization that did this from a really powerful way, and it was Target. So Target, we all love Target, right? Do you know that Target can actually predict when you're going to get pregnant or if you already are pregnant before you know you're pregnant? What? It's all through their data. They have figured out buying patterns of women that actually indicate if those women are actually pregnant before the woman knows she's pregnant. What? I want you to have that kind of power over your data where you can actually see shifts in the market before the market starts talking about it. It's amazing when we get to know our people better, we start to understand their needs, and we become recession proof, we become cost proof because people know, like, and trust us. And all of that lives inside of our data. And are you creative? So the thing that I love about creatives is that they are natural storytellers anyway. They're just telling it with art, whether that's photography, whether that's building spreadsheets. Yes, building a spreadsheet is art, my friends. If you are a bookkeeper, that is art. If you are selling some sort of transformation to people in some way, shape, or form to make them better, you're doing it in a creative way. It's why you have stayed in your business and why you're excited about what you're doing in the first place, right? And if you don't have a creative flair, then you're probably you've got that servant heart about you. And then you're deeply passionate. You love what you do. Why does passion matter? Passion matters because you care deeply about what you're doing and you want it to get in the more hands. You want this to be the solution that more people have. You believe firmly in what it is you're doing. And when we have passion, it's amazing what we can do when we pair that passion with data, because that passion drives us to ask great questions. So if you are deeply passionate, this is for you. And then, do you like to think outside the box? If you are an entrepreneur, then there is a part of you that just naturally thinks outside the box, which I absolutely love. And what I think is really cool is that sometimes we think that we need to hire outside people. So we need to hire somebody to tell us things we don't know. When in reality, your brain and your natural inclination for thinking outside the box paired with your data is a beautiful free combination for making strategic moves inside of your business that will grow it. Yes, free. I said free. I'm going to say it again. Data is free. It already lives inside of your business. It is already part of your business. It's in a lot of different places. We're going to talk about that. But I want you to understand that if you think outside the box, it means you're asking great questions, great question askers. They're going to get to know those customers because they're passionate about it, right? And through a creative flair, they're going to be able to push things and move things. So nowhere in here did I say you're a numbers person, right? Right, exactly. It's not about being a numbers person. It's about being an artist, a storyteller, and a servant leader, somebody who cares deeply about your customers. If you are those people, this is for you. This is for you. So let us talk about the benefits, the beautiful benefits. I'm going to talk about the benefits of this and what happens when we don't do this, because I feel like, well, knowing the bad is always good and knowing the good is just even better. So let's talk about unemotional measuring performance. So unemotionally measuring performance. A lot of people think that if I am measuring performance on my business, that this measurement is going to somehow say I'm a bad person, I'm unsuccessful, I'm horrible at what I do, I don't know, like horrible things, right? But that's the beautiful thing about data is it's unemotional. It's just saying this is what happened. This is the fact. This is the thing. And to me, what's so beautiful about that is because when we are business owners, we can look at things incredibly emotionally. We can look at things and say, is my business really going as well as I thought? And you can look at this data, which is a cold, hard fact, and understand, yes, we are successful. We're moving in a successful direction, or no, we are not. It does not mean you don't live here, right? It's a road sign. It's a road sign to tell you which direction to go. And if you're measuring this, then you'll know, let me look at it from a road sign perspective to keep going forward, or I need to make a U-turn. There's nothing wrong with that. What's so wonderful about measuring performance is it has nothing to do with how you feel. It's literally an objective view into your business. And we all need objective views into our businesses, because when we make emotional decisions, real bad things can happen. So let's talk about the second benefit. It's identifying lucrative opportunities. So what would be considered a lucrative opportunity? Well, you've probably heard this over the years that an opportunity is great, but not if it's not lucrative, right? So how do you know if an idea is lucrative? You can actually look at your data. You can actually look at the data inside of your business that's occurring and do all those things. I also want to talk about improving your customer service. So back to that helper mindset. If you are a helper, then you want to help more people. And the best way to do this is to dig into the numbers. And I'm going to give you a really fun example of this in just a minute. So finally, you're going to make informed decisions. So rather than saying, I'm thinking, I kind of assume that this would be a good idea, I'm feeling that we should do this thing, you can actually make informed decisions. So you have a way of making a decision and saying, look, The data actually says that we should probably try something like this. And that's just cool, right? I love making a decision with objective information, not involving my emotions. And that's exactly what this does. So I want to share a little story with you that actually happened to me this weekend. So I was at this tea shop. I always point in the wrong direction. This tea shop right here. And I don't know if you know anything about bubble tea. My daughter, who is 11, she turned 11 yesterday, actually loves Pearl's tea. Pearl's tea is just her favorite thing on earth. It's a local tea shop and they sell bubble tea. You might have also heard of it called boba. Well, what is boba? Boba is this tea, again, that maybe you've seen, that it's actually tea and it usually has milk and a heck of sugar. It is like a sugar bomb. And in the bottom of it, it has what they call pearls, bubbles, whatever. These are little tapioca things. Again, they're sugar-based. It's just a sugar bomb, and she loves these. But they also sell these little waffles on a stick. I mean, the cutest idea ever, right? A store that sells this cute little boba tea or bubble tea with waffles on a stick. Who wouldn't want to go there? Well, let me just tell you, this weekend, we went to this place, and we've been here many times before, and I will tell you, it always looks like this. There is a line out the door for this place. And what I will say is that we waited 45 minutes to get a drink and a waffle on a stick. What have I done with my life, right? I was irritated. I'm not very patient. But the way my brain works was, there's so much they could be doing with this business, and it all lives in their data. So I wanted to share with you and I may tell this store. I mean, I might tell this store, right? What they could do to improve this system, right? So they have this long line. Let me lay it out for you. They have this long line. But once you order, you then wait another 20 minutes. So you wait usually about 20 minutes in line and 25 minutes for your drink. I know, 45 minutes for this process. So my thought is, let's look at unemotionally at measuring the data that they have. Now, where is this data located? They are a brick and mortar store. They have the little cash register that they're putting all their orders in, right? Ding, ding, ding. There is where their data lives. Every night you close out the register. Usually you take the big receipts, or if it's done digitally, it doesn't matter. Every single order that came in is tabulated in that system. Not only is every single order tabulated in that system, but there's typically a time stamp associated with it. So right there, you can see how many orders you had, what the orders were for, and how far apart those orders were taken. Wow. Already 3 amazing data points to know what you serve the most of, how long it's taking for orders to get taken, because you can see that timestamp based on that. And their line was out the door, so orders are coming in one after the other. But I think they needed help with that, right? And then also seeing how often those orders are coming in, they can see the time of day, that is their peak time. They can even say, okay, this was Saturday's data, this is Sunday's data, this is Monday's, so on and so forth. And they can see the spikes in data. So from this, they now know their top seller, the time of day that people come in the most, and how long it's taking for orders to get put into the system. So just from their receipts, just from their receipt information, we have these measurements. Now, what do they do with this? What do they do with this information? We're going to identify some lucrative opportunities here, right? Okay, so what are some lucrative opportunities in this scenario? Well, and this actually also leads to improving customer service. 2 and 3 are very similar. So a lucrative opportunity here is speeding up that time, right? Because that line was long. And I don't know how many of those people waited that will come back. Because if I have to wait 45 minutes, I am not going to go in there nearly as much as if I have to wait 15 minutes. I get that you're going to need some time to make a drink. I actually did some research on this and figured out that even to make a bubble tea drink at home takes 15 minutes. I am okay with that. 15 minutes is fine. But there's 45 minutes here we're working with, right? So something's not working. So how do we improve our customer service? And how is this a lucrative opportunity? Well, we can actually increase sales because there were people that were walking out the door because they did not want to wait in this line. So the lucrative opportunity is a couple things. One is shortening that time in line, right? If you shorten that time in line and you shorten the time that it takes to make that drink, because that's a whole other ball of wax, that they actually do not have in their data. They do not have that. But what I can tell you is they can fix this by prepping more. So how do you know what to prep though? It's in the data, my friends. So all they have to do is look at their receipts again and say, what were our biggest sellers? How much do we normally prep? Let's prep double. And then that order time increases or decreases. It goes way down, right? Now, maybe there's something that they're not actually tabulating that it's a lucrative opportunity and it will improve customer service. And that is somebody comes up to the counter. This actually happened to my daughter, and she wanted this and they were out of it. So she ordered something else instead. So how many of those orders happened? Well, they could actually figure that out and again, prep correctly and prep ahead of time. And by the way, these little tea balls last 6 weeks. So they could make them well in advance and just make more tea so that they're cutting all those times down, and to know the tea to make is actually in that data. And they could take it a step further by the guy who's at the register writing down, we're out of this, and how many times he says that for the ones that they're out of. All he has to do is have a pin, put a little knot, and then all of a sudden he can say, I actually said this many times. So when we look at our top sellers, we need to add these numbers and make even more of that. So that is a way to improve customer service and getting that line time down, right? So if they look at that data and they see that it's taking 7 minutes per customer, I don't know this, but they can see that with the timestamps on those orders. If it's taking 7 minutes, they can talk to the 1 or 3 different people that are running that register and say, what's going on? Well, it's because we're out of stock of a lot of things. Okay, well then actually being in stock will cut down that order time. Well, it's because most people don't know what this is. Oh, well, there's more information. Maybe put signs in the line as to the most popular orders, what boba tea is, what the most popular order is, how they make it. This is for you. If you're a brand new person, we recommend this. That way the person's order is already in their head and you're not waiting for them to figure out the process because you've already educated them while they're waiting in line, which hopefully is shorter, but it's just a really easy way to do that. They can even have a TV in there with, slides of what boba is, the most popular, what you should order, that type of thing. So these are just simple ways, and all of this lives in their data. And all of these are lucrative opportunities because it's going to keep people in the door and in the store. Now, I was also sharing with you these waffles, and my daughter waited an additional 15 minutes for the waffle. She ordered the waffle and the drink at the same time. So they need to go back and look at their waffle orders and prep madly for these waffles. Now, I want to think about making informed decisions. So all of this was informed, right? So they're not going to say, we need to make more tea. Well, of course you need to make more tea if you're running out of stuff. What do you make more of? What did you hear people say in line? What could you gather from your security footage? Another data point is that security footage. They could see who walked in and out. They could see how long people lingered in the store. They could see how long it was taking for someone, once they ordered, to get their food, to get their drink and their waffle. So that will help them make informed decisions so that they're making the right tea, they're making the right amount by day, and they're potentially surprising and delighting their customers in a whole other way. So if you're not a data person, how could this affect your business? Well, what I want to share with you now is how this actually affects you. So I want you to look at your data. If anyone has transacted with you in the last month, they've given you money or they've given you their email address, you have data on this person. And typically there is a timestamp of the order or a timestamp of the time that they joined your wait list or email list or whatever that might be. What was happening in your business when those things occurred? What made this person buy? What was that? I also want you to think about how many people you have on your list that have not purchased, and maybe there's a breakdown in that data too. I'm telling you, the answers to your business live in your data. If you are willing to look at your data and think to yourself, why am I not getting enough business? And looking in your data to say, I have this many people, what's happening, right? It's truly just making an informed decision. But you can only make that informed decision when you look at the numbers. Now, you can drop these numbers into Excel and you can get a chart made for you in there. It's very simple. If you are a visual person, I 1000% recommend doing that. It's very simple. You just dump your data in and then ask Excel to give you a chart, and all of a sudden you have information. Ask a question in your business. Why am I not making enough sales? Why did my last launch not go so well? And then ask a little deeper. How many people were in that? What was that? Anything where you can objectively look at that data and then see what was going on. Were they opening their emails? Were they reading their emails? There's so many opportunities for this, but it only happens when you are listening to that silent storyteller. And inside the Leadership Operating System, I actually teach you where to look. I teach you how to download your information. I teach you how to read it. I teach you how on a weekly basis to look at it and make informed decisions about it. Why? Because this is what will separate you from your competition. You will see trends sooner than your competition. You will see great things inside of your business before everyone else. You will start speaking to your customer in a different way because you will know, like, and trust them, and therefore they will know, like, and trust you. Look at your data. It's telling you a story that it wants you to tell your customers so that they buy more from you, whether it's that they buy initially or that they buy again from you. Your data tells the story. I'm very excited that you showed up today. And if this is something that interests you, I would love to jump on a 15-minute call with you. I'm not going to sell you anything because I don't want to do that. What I'd like to do is diagnose these measurements inside of your business to see if the Leadership Operating System is even something that would work inside of your business, because it might not. But from the 15 minutes, you at least will gain those markers inside of your business to know what are the key drivers. What could be making my business the most successful? If this is something that you would like, I recommend putting SHIFT, SHIFT, in the chat, in the comments below, and I will personally reach out to you, see if this is a good fit. We can jump on that 15-minute call, get you that diagnostic, and have your business growing for you by looking at what's happening with your initial customers, the customers you have, and the people that are on your list.